Ryan.
Hey, Dennis.
How you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Too bad.
Good evening.
Hello, Jim, Dennis, everybody else.
Morning. Hey, Jim.
Hello there. Alan, one of these days, I'm going to get to see what your chin looks like. I haven't seen you in such a long time. Oh, there, you do have a chin.
Today.
Oh, you were hiding your beard, huh?
Well, not really. My belly just keeps the keyboard part of this laptop pushed up in the air.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
And yes, that is my completely messy craft room that I'm about to get rid of. There.
Yeah, go ahead, put that back on, Beth. There was quite a mess behind you there.
I bet she knows where everything
It
is.
looks like a large room, too.
Yeah, it's not a bad sized room. It's not quite as organized as I'd like, but I need like a week to go through everything and throw out the stuff that I don't need. But I'm much better at collecting all the craft supplies than I am at using them.
Me too, me too. I've got a large room like that full of craft supplies.
Yeah. And that right back there, that brown bookcase, that's all books, and it's probably 90% photography books.
Yeah.
And then the white bookcase over there, more photo books. And then around the corner, there's more photo books.
Nice.
So, and yes, there's a monster enlarger in there too. Not one that works, but.
There was a puppy dog in there too.
Yeah. Excuse
There's
me.
two
Bless
dogs in
you.
my background somewhere, but
Well, I saw one in the corner over there.
yeah, the shepherd you can see, the lab is behind stuff, and he's lazier.
Is that the chocolate lab or?
No, he's a black lab mix-ish.
Okay.
He was a rescue, and he'd been a stray that just like showed up at the shelter. So we don't really know what he is. They thought that he was about 10 years old, but that was 7 years ago.
Wow.
So he's not 17. I don't know. He's got a white chest and white paws. He's not a pure anything.
Actually, the no pure anything are getting very expensive nowadays.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. You have two different, what I used to call mutts, because they're not purebred. And they're running up to 3,000 or more on some of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. I mean, this guy cost us, I think, $160
Yeah.
to get from the shelter.
Yep. All shots and
that's-
everything spayed. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
I
we
remember.
donated more than that to them after that, so.
Mhm. That's a great place for people to donate too, even if it's just
Yeah.
bags of dog food and toys and etc. When you go out to Walmart or any place, just pick up something extra for them.
Yep. I used to give them Walmart gift cards.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I
'Cause that
usually
way
get
they can
stuff
get
off of
within these
Amazon.
parks.
Yeah, I do stuff off of Amazon and take it to them.
Yeah. And even our shepherd was a rescue, so.
So Marty, I'm curious, where's your forest background from?
The internet.
Okay. It didn't look
Because
like
I
it would
love
be
it.
local.
Only in the south. I think there's some gypsy moss in there.
Looks cool.
I don't remember what it said. Let me see if I can see. Probably not.
Come on.
No, it doesn't say.
Boy, everybody's quiet tonight.
I have a nice background. You have to be able to get out, so.
Hmm.
Little bit of music for us.
Ryan must be eating his dinner. I haven't heard him talk yet.
Yeah.
No, I already ate. I'm just not really feeling that well this evening, so I was kind of just being quiet.
That's too bad.
Sniffles, shortness of breath, fever above 1.4.
No, none of that. I'm just different kind of not feeling well. Okay.
Yeah.
Evening, everybody.
Hello, Rex.
Hey, hi, Marge. Jim.
I finally got hummingbirds.
Good.
I seen a picture today of a praying mantis that killed a hummingbird,
What?
Really?
Oh,
and it says it was on Facebook, but it said to if you see praying mantises hanging around where your hummingbird feeders are, to get the praying mantises away from there because they will kill them.
I had no idea. Well, I know praying mantises are very aggressive, even towards humans.
I don't know if they get that big here.
Well, they're not real big, but I've had them stand up on their hind legs and come at me.
Really?
Yeah. And I
What
just
else
stand
does
there.
2020 have in store for us?
Well, we've dodged the murder hornets, so I guess there has to be something else good.
Yeah.
Godzilla will be coming pretty soon.
Oh, hey, Brian, I don't know if you saw Melissa's post on Reddit. She was inquiring whether there was a photo walk scheduled for August, and I responded as far as I knew there was not. Is that correct?
That is correct. We
Okay.
didn't schedule. We had, I forget what was scheduled, but it wasn't something that we could do, I believe. So we didn't schedule anything.
Well, it was actually the Erie trip.
It was.
Oh, that's right. That we moved to last month.
And you moved it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it just wasn't replaced.
right. We'll try to do a walk next month. I've seen some information today. I know someone had inquired about the sorry, brain's not working. Someone had inquired about the foundry over in Greene County that we went to,
Yeah.
and they opened it as of I think as of Monday or this Sunday they're opening it, but they're only opening it to 6 people at a time
And I think by appointment only too.
by appointment and ticket only. You have to buy a ticket.
Yeah. But you know, if you were to get 12 tickets and block the day, literally, they would make their money and you could allocate the tickets amongst the group.
Yeah, we could do that. I don't see any reason why we couldn't. As far as that goes, that sounds like a good idea. So we can check into that.
We took a grandson to Terry Furnace, and they're limited to 15 people. And that actually worked, although was not the photography tour. It was a guided tour, which I actually quite enjoyed because I never had done that. But you could do the same thing. You could get a block of tickets or a block of time and get access to the site.
Dennis, were you at Kerry Furnace recently then, you're saying?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Because I don't know if you're aware, but we originally had talked about going there, but they canceled on us.
Yeah. Personally or as a group?
Well, we had talked about doing it as a group. I had put in a reservation myself, and then was shortly, this goes back way early in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Contacted by them, they had canceled their tours. They didn't say like until when. So it's nice to hear they're back open.
Well,
Dennis,
if people are looking for something to shoot this Saturday, the Cub Scout pack, I can never remember their number, but in the one that meets in Scottsdale is still doing their car show at the Evergreen Drive-In because it's easy enough to stay spread out, and that's in Mount Pleasant.
what time?
I think it starts around 10 or 11 a.m. I know that it's mentioned on Facebook. I'll see if I can find a thing because my husband's one of the organizers, but I don't have a flyer handy.
Yeah.
So I had something I wanted to bring up to the group. Brian and I had talked about this the other day as far as upcoming meetings go. So our November 9th meeting, we're scheduled to have a speaker, Ann Craybill, who's the director of the Westmoreland Museum of Art. She was going to talk to us about her perspective as a jurist for art and photo shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't talked to her since we originally scheduled it way back earlier in the year. But Brian and I were discussing possible options about this. And I guess the options are, obviously, whatever we would discuss, what we would be interested in, I would have to talk to Ann to see if she was agreeable to it. But so we could, like we're currently doing, have a Zoom meeting with her in lieu of a face-to-face meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Or is the group ready to do live person-to-person meeting? And for that particular November 9th meeting, 2 options that I thought about, because I think you're all aware St. Vincent isn't available for us, at least for the first semester this fall, would be to see if Ann would host us at the museum itself. Or Hannistown has previously offered to host meetings for us. And then the third option is, do we just want to postpone our meeting with her until next year when people are more comfortable with face-to-face meetings? So I'm interested to hear people's viewpoints on this.
I'm open and for anyone to meet at our building down here too, you know, if y'all feel, I think we could probably spread out pretty good. So that's also an option. So.
I'd prefer just to have it next year where we can feel more comfortable and ask her questions and
Personally, Jim, I think you need to, talk to Ann and find out what her opinion is, and then get back to us, and then we can make a decision from there.
Well, I hear you, Annie, but I would prefer that we decide what we want to do. And then go back to her and let her say, no, I don't want to do it that way. I think we should decide what we want to do.
Well, then I think probably with the space involved, the museum might be the best place to see if she could host us there. They have a nice open space up there that, she could give a talk to, or, and she might be more comfortable there, and it would be, I think, an easy place for everybody to get to.
I think the one problem with that is going to be that they're normally closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. And if we do it at our usual time, which would be 7 o'clock, they're, even on the days that they're open, they close at 5. So to do it on a Monday night at the museum, we would be asking them to specially open the building for us to be able to get in.
Yeah.
So I think it would make more sense to offer her either do it in November on Zoom or do it next year sometime. But there's no reason we can't ask her questions on Zoom too.
I agree.
Right. I was going to suggest a Zoom, but I was just also offering my building. So.
Yeah, you're right. I had no idea
some
what.
additional comments about Zoom. And I know we've been doing Zoom meetings for how many months now, and it's okay among us. Having someone like Ann talk, I guess I'm hesitant to think that we would get our money's worth, if you will, from her and get full appreciation of it on Zoom. But maybe that's just me.
Well, I believe there's still a lot of people in our club that's leery of getting together with a group. So
Leery?
would be leery of getting together as a group. I know I'm one of them. I wouldn't, do it before next year. And I know there's other people that probably within our group would feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about the hours for the library, and you know what? Trying to meet at Hannahstown would probably be the same way. I don't think there's anybody there later in the evening, and
we've been offered hand for nighttime stuff before.
Yeah, they are willing to host us. They've already extended an offer. Now this goes back to last year. I assume that's still the case.
No, I'm just saying, I don't know that they're open that late, and if they were to host us, they would have to pay somebody to be there.
Well, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were willing to host us at our regular meeting times and days. That's not an issue for them.
Well,
I think the basic question comes down to, are you guys willing to get together in a meeting room or not?
I'm not.
If we answer that question, then we answer all the other questions involved.
I'm willing. I know that Margie's not, and I'm not sure who else is.
I'm not really ready.
We go
Not a small room.
We go to church every Sunday, meet in the building that is laid out such that you're reasonably assured to be separate from other people. And I don't see why that museum couldn't do the same thing. In the worst cases, you'd have to give them some monetary donation to make it worth their while. As a consideration for the fact of the extra effort. And I think they would appreciate it that if it's not during open hours, so they don't have to deal with the tickets. So I'd be inclined to try and do it.
Alan, any comments?
I'm willing. I deal with people every day, so.
Okay. Rex, haven't heard a comment from you yet, I don't think.
We do several different kinds of Zooming, and we do it for sometimes 25, 30 people online. They have PowerPoint presentations. If she has enough lead time, I would think that she'd be able to, being in the field that she is, put together graphics or anything that we, the officers, may want to discuss about the presentation. So I'm for the Zoom myself. I feel like if she has a good head start on setting up for it, that she should be able to present a meaningful program to us. Look at how we look at each other's work. That's the perfect example to be short about it.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. I see Gaylor's on. Gaylor, any comments?
He's muted.
Muted, yeah.
Not really. I'm just trying to get my speaker to work.
Well,
It's
we hear
working.
you.
Can you hear yourself?
Well, I'm trying out a new pair of ear pods,
Ah,
and they don't want to connect.
yeah. Push it all the way in.
Yeah, until they touch in the middle.
Well, if you don't have anything getting in the way.
Well, Gaylor, do you have any comments?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I really have not been focusing on the discussion. I was trying to get some sound.
Okay. Jim, how about you?
If you're able to hear me, I'm not sure. I'm having issues with my connection tonight.
Yes,
But-
we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. I mean, I would be okay with it if adequate spacing and everything exists, like what Dennis was saying. I'm still a little cautious with all of that still, but if spacing were to exist, then I would feel pretty comfortable with that. As long as, and if it didn't exist, definitely Zoom for me.
Okay. How about DL?
Well, my first thought is just to go with what Rex had said. It just makes sense.
DL, I'm sorry. I don't know about the others. I cannot hear you.
Closer.
There we
That's
go.
good.
Okay. Well, my first thought is to go with what Rex had said. Anyone who's decent at putting together a presentation can put something together that we can watch on Zoom. And as for me personally, I service several dentist offices and other medical field stuff. So I have to go by their recommendations, which means, yeah, I have to stay out. I can't do that.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Brian, I'm not sure about you at this point. It seems like there's a multitude of suggestions here, but I think under the circumstances, since there continue to be some people who are uncomfortable meeting live, and obviously all of us on this call are comfortable on Zoom, that I go ahead and approach Ann and ask her if she's still interested to meet with us via Zoom, and that's how we go forward with it.
I'm fine with that.
Is everyone okay with that?
Yes.
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 Okay.
I
So we'll
mean,
stick
I'm
with
sure
Zoom.
that,
Assuming that Ann is comfortable, and and again, Rex, I agree with you. I mean, in her position, she's obviously doing this for other reasons. And I'm sure she can put on a good presentation via Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
If for whatever reason she feels a little reluctant and uncomfortable, we'll just schedule her for next year.
Well, do a trial balloon, see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
at least for planning purposes, we'll continue to plan for it being a Zoom meeting
okay.
as of right now.
That
So,
sounds good to me. I don't have any problems with that. And like you said, she obviously, I mean, if she's in any kind of position, she's using Zoom right now. She may be using it right now as we're doing ours.
yeah.
You know, it's kind of almost an industry standard at this point for meeting without meeting in face. So no, I'm fine with the Zoom thing, and I think she will be perfectly fine with that. It's just a matter of whether or not she wants to do it. So
Okay.
I would check in with her, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds good. Well, this makes my second question a lot easier to answer. I'll go ahead and tell you what it was. And that is, are people interested in beginning to have any face-to-face meetings the rest of this year, either our SWG meeting or a monthly meeting? And again, the concept would have been to approach Hannahstown for that purpose. Based on this discussion, I think the answer is not ready. So we'll hold off on that, their offer to us, until sometime next year. We'll have this discussion again.
Okay.
Okay, thanks everyone for your comments.
You're welcome.
Let me, it's not a suggestion, it's just tabling the idea that just like we'll go down to one of the parks and just take relaxing walks around the lake, and I don't know if having one of the gazebos or what do you call them, the buildings,
Brilliant.
yeah, to meet in. We could still use social distancing. We could still wear the masks when we're, say, together in the pavilion. We could even bring our own drinks. You have a chance to get together and talk to each other without a lot of electronics in between. So it's just an idea. I thought I would sign up for that. It would have to be on a day when everybody could get together, or the majority of us could get together.
Yeah,
So
well, Rex,
I'm still not, what?
I was gonna say, our first opportunity for that, if you will, is we do have a fall picnic planned at Twin Lakes. And I don't recall the specific date, but I believe it's in early October.
I'm looking.
Pardon me?
Okay.
I'm looking.
Yeah, see, I'm given the weather and given the fact that the entire countryside hasn't descended on it, yeah, I think that would be good. I'd sign up for that.
Yeah.
I think for purposes of the picnic, rather than have this like comment, would you not, is for the reasons you cite, that it will be outdoors and you can social distance and we can wear masks.
Yeah.
Would be to simply, my suggestion, Brian, obviously you need to chime in on this, is that we continue to schedule it. And if people are still not comfortable at that point, then they just, they can choose not to attend the picnic.
You know, if you did it not by dish, you bring your own food, you eat your own food.
That's what I was going to say.
So you're not sharing food and beverage.
Right.
That solves one of the big issues. You bring your own stuff, and it just you get one of the pavilions and you share the space appropriately.
And we had that scheduled for September.
Oh, it's September.
Yes,
What's the date?
the 12th.
Okay. Well, that's coming up.
And I agree with Dennis. Bring your own little picnic to eat amongst you other picnickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but bring your own bottles of beer or cans of beer, or bring your own drinks. You don't have to worry about any cross-pollination, if you want to call it that.
I think it's a good idea. Annie, Brian, any of the other officers want to chip in on this?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Is it a Sunday?
It is a Saturday.
You know, if you can reserve the pavilions at Twin Lakes? Is it possible to
Dennis.
reserve the pavilions at Twin Lakes?
We have a pavilion reserved, yes.
We do, okay.
Which one did you preserve?
Two.
Numerically, I couldn't recall, but
Two.
it's the two? Okay, it's the upper lake, but it's the pavilion that sits up, if you know where the playground area is, when you first walk down to the upper lake.
The remodeled one.
Yeah.
Is it remodeled?
Well, they
I
put
don't know.
walkways in and put a like a walk area around the pavilion.
I think we're talking about a different pavilion, Dennis.
Okay.
Yeah. This one sits, when I say it's up off of the lake, it's not, it's 50 yards from the lake.
No.
But it's literally on the same area where the kids' play set is at the upper lake.
Okay.
It sits a little bit up closer into the woods, if you will.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Is that the long path with all those tall trees all lined up
No.
on each side? Is
No.
that area?
No.
Where is it? Further out, further above, more towards the railroad tracks, further
Yes.
up towards the end of the lake,
Yes. Well,
the upper lake.
it's the middle of the lake, but if you would park in the upper lot and walk down to the lake,
Yeah.
it's to your left.
Okay, we got that. We'll hear the activity. Hear the fun.
We'll get there late because I think that's actually when soccer's supposed to start,
Yeah.
if it
Big
happens.
supposed to.
Yeah, we'll see.
So Pavilion 2 is down the lake from the Vietnam Memorial.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I know where that is.
Say that again, Dennis.
It's down the lake towards the lower lake from the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. I can show you.
That's true. Yes, it would. Yes, that is correct.
Dennis, if you have that up and you want to show it, go ahead and show it so everyone gets an idea where it's at.
Hold on, let me check real quick.
Yeah, I've got a shot of it too. There's a large name epitaph in front of
Yeah.
it.
We can think.
Oh, you have an overhead.
Yeah. It's from the Park Service website. And there's the lower lake on the right. And Pavilion 2 is right here.
Okay.
So it's it's up the walkway. It's a big one.
Yes. I had my son's graduation party there.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are not familiar, the parking lot is up at the top of the hill there, but you can drive your car down and drop supplies off and then go back up and park.
Didn't we use that one time?
We used Pavilion 1 for previous.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
That's right next to it.
that's the one where all the bees were at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. This area C here, there's a new pavilion. I think it's, I don't know if it's 8 or not. There's a small one, but they put in a brand new one. New everything on that area, which is quite nice.
You're right. That's where they're building, yes.
Ah, okay.
Well, in any case. It's a nice park.
Yep.
Hey, speaking of parks, so you've heard me talk before that Pat and I take walks, I think, at both Twin Lakes and Mammoth at least once or twice a week. New sighting at Mammoth just 2 nights ago. First, the swans had left sometime late last year. One swan has returned to Mammoth Lake as of at least 2 nights ago. I'm not sure how earlier it's been. But what really surprised me is there's an egret, a white egret there, which I don't think belongs in this area. But they look very similar to white herons, but Pat went online and looked. The egrets have black or dark legs, and the white herons have yellow or orange legs, and this thing definitely has dark legs.
Yeah. A friend of mine's photographed it a couple of times now.
You say you did, Annie?
No, a friend of mine has photographed it a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
It's a guy that actually lives here in town. He has a big following on Facebook for his bird photography, and he got a couple really nice shots of the egret.
Yeah.
I was wondering where it was.
Well, Pat gave me hell because the night we were there, I didn't have my camera with me. So I do want to go back.
So, well, that explains where he found it.
In fact, the evening we were there, it was kind of cool because the blue heron was there, all within, let's say, 50 yards of each other. There was the swan, the egret, and the blue heron.
Oh man! And you didn't get a shot of any of them.
No, well, I did some swan shots last year or so, and I've had the blue heron before, but yeah, the egret is one I would like to get.
Yeah, we have them up here every once in a while for some reason, but yeah, they're not common.
Yeah. Well, and there's been a seagull at Twin Lakes off and on this summer as well.
Yep. That I've seen around here.
Yeah, they nest a lot. The white egrets, they nest a lot over there in Galveston. We have a special reserve for them, as well as other birds. And if you're real careful, you can get some really good shots of it, but it's swampy in that area.
This is not authoritative, but in doing the bird photography in the backyard and going through the book every once in a while to identify the birds, one of the things that I have read is that certain birds, the males will fly in first and they'll look for areas that are going to be the nesting areas, and etc. And then later on, the females will fly in and take up residence, I guess is the way to say it. So what you're seeing may be the first arrival of other birds of that type. Just a thought.
Yep, hopefully so.
Bring a long lens.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got a new one.
Uh-oh.
Another one?
No, the one I got before. It's just new to me.
Yeah.
400.
He's got
Yeah.
a 400.
I'm a couple hundred short of getting one.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking at them.
I've had to settle for a 2X extender, but it does the job. It does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
I got that yellow belly sapsucker a couple of months ago, getting ready for winter. Taking the seed out of the feeder and plugging it into a tree trunk on the backside.
So how many of you guys have ever been to Wharton Iron Furnace?
What?
The Wharton Iron Furnace up here in the mountains up by my way.
Is that
The one that you
posted a photo of?
photographed.
One person at a time. I can't hear everybody. Go ahead, Jim. Now nobody wants to talk. Okay.
I said the one that you were at with your RV car.
That was a drone.
Yeah, a drone. Did you guys see the video I did?
I saw that you posted it, but I didn't watch the video yet.
Okay. Do you want to see it? It's like 3 minutes long.
Sure.
Yeah, out there. That's what we're here for.
1 second here. The part that I like about it, that I was surprised with, was the what the top of the iron furnace looks like. I've never seen the roof of an iron furnace, and I'm assuming that the top of this one they've worked on, but I'll show it to you guys, and you guys can tell me what you think. Give me 1 second here. Let me figure out how to share my screen again. You should see YouTube now.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. I'll let this play. It's only 3 minutes.
Very nice.
Cool.
Really nice.
Well, Brian, I want to tell you, I'm disappointed because I was expecting to get a view down through the vent or chimney, whatever you call that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I can fly. I'm not that good at flying that thing yet. I'm gonna work on that though, because I like that place. I'm gonna go back and do it again. I've got some other ideas that since I've done that one and posted it. So,
Where
I
is
like
that?
your background music.
Hmm?
I like the background music.
Thank you. I got that from a website called Soundstripe. It's for music for videos like that.
Where's it at, Brian?
That is Wharton Iron Furnace. If you go up over the mountain from Uniontown to the top of the mountain, there's Summit Inn.
Yeah.
And as you cross the top of the mountain, the first road is Skyline Drive, which goes out to Laurel Caverns. The
Yeah.
second road after that. So don't turn on Skyline Drive, but turn at the second road to the right. That is the road that'll take you out to Wharton Township, Wharton Furnace, and then what's the name of that art place up there, Annie or Beth?
Oh,
Touchstone Center for the Arts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just before you get to Touchstone Center for the Arts.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Kind of have to look for it. It's on the right hand side of the road as you're going out through there, but it's a neat furnace. It was put there in the early 1800s. They made during the Civil War times, they made cannonballs there for the Civil War.
Hmm.
That's one. There's another one down in Bullskin Township, which you guys have seen on my background in the previous. I'm going to go down and do video of that one too.
Yeah, there's one up near State College as well.
Okay. I know there's one up in Cooper's Rocks. I think that one's called Henry Clay Iron Furnace. And there's another one that I found down in West Virginia. I don't know how to say where it's at, but I know how to get to it.
Well, Dennis, the one you mentioned near State College, I think, is that Green Furnace State
Yeah.
Park?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there at least sometime in the last few years.
So I've been pretty impressed with the video quality of the drone. That was shot in 4K.
That was good.
I think if I learn how to fly it a little bit better and smoother transitions from one thing to the next, it'll look a little bit better. So I'm working on that part.
Yeah.
Takes practice.
Yep.
A friend of mine originally from APUG does a lot of drone stuff over Lake Michigan. And he's really good, but he does a lot of stuff where he's taking the stills from it and doing stuff. But if you look up Bill Schwab, he must have a YouTube channel. He's probably got, I know he does, because he's got a lot of wet plate stuff up too. But he probably has some drone stuff up. But he's been doing it for a while, so it takes practice.
Yeah.
Here we go. I'll show you. I actually did a couple still shots too from the drone. I'll show them to you real quick.
Ooh, cool.
They're actually for the scavenger hunt, so I just haven't posted them yet. Let me see her. I'm going to screen share. That's where I'm going. You guys should see a sunset.
Oh.
Yeah. Is that a shopping plaza of some sort?
That's Target in Uniontown.
Yeah.
Nice sky.
Mm-hmm.
There's that. There's my U.S. flag picture. That's at the Uniontown Mall off the drone. And then you guys just
Is that
seen
an optical illusion, or is that flag enormous?
that flag is enormous. It's big.
Beautiful sky. The color saturation is good if that's cold from the camera.
Well, I processed it, but it's not overly processed. I didn't do a whole lot to it because it's a JPEG. Because I forgot to tell the drone to take pictures in RAW, so it's a JPEG. So I couldn't do a whole lot to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I actually even put it in Luminar and tried changing the sky, and I didn't like any of the Luminar skies better than that one, so I left that one alone.
It still looks good.
It's a pretty sky.
And then this was a shot that I did off of the of the iron furnace. But I've been pretty impressed with the pictures off of it too. And like I said, all three of those are JPEG because I had forgot to adjust the camera to shoot RAW files. So all three of these were JPEG. So I couldn't do a whole lot to them to make them, before they started to break up. So
Cool.
there you go.
They were nice.
Thank you.
Hello, Carolyn.
She's muted.
You're muted if you wanted to say hello. There's a microphone in the lower left-hand corner of your screen.
Carolyn, just hold on. Or you got it.
Got it.
There
Sorry.
we go.
Thank you for saying hello. We just got home from Slippery Rock.
Yeah.
Am I
I
there?
bought a new lens. I bought a Petzval 80mm lens. Anybody ever see that? Can I show you?
Sure.
Where'd it go? Hold on a second.
Oh, wait a minute.
And it's a mammography product. It's a lens that introduces a certain kind of distortion into the background of an image. And I've seen work by a guy named Michael Gordon, who we've been with in Death Valley a couple times, and he got some interesting things. So there was a GoFundMe campaign that I think I paid $280 for a basic lens. And I got it a couple weeks ago and took it with grandson to FIPS just to see what it would do. And it's the first time I've dealt with a true manual lens. It does nothing automatic. So you're dealing,
Welcome to my world.
you're dealing, although the camera will deal with the shutter speed, but you're trying to, and as those of you who've been around for a while, there's a little practice to adjusting aperture and focus in one, particularly for the camera not designed to be manually focused.
Yeah.
And I've got one, so I took it to FIPS, and that's all I used. I mean, that's the only lens I had. And I, just to see what it would do, you sort of dive in with it. And that's what it does. And that's grandson in focus. And you see this blur that it introduces into the background. And I don't quite understand why it gives this curved layer.
Huh.
And I looked on the web and I can't find a clear explanation, except it says the optics are thicker. When you talk about optics in general, they talk about thin optics, not thick optics.
Mm-hmm.
And from the diagrams I could see, these optics are thick. And when it gets to the focal curve, the distortion from the optics is clear on the edges of the frame. And that's what I got. And I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's neat.
They
Yeah.
don't do them for a Pentax mount. Otherwise, yeah, I'd have one or two.
This is
Or
for Canon.
I really like it. It kind of gives it an abstract painting effect in the
does.
background.
It does, but it leaves the center in focus and undistorted.
Yeah.
well, the Petzval lenses, which you can still get those if you know where to look, for 4x5 are
Yeah.
what things started out as.
Yeah.
And originally it was, they had to be really thick lenses because they were making them by hand and grinding lenses by hand. They
Yeah.
weren't using computers to make lenses.
Yeah.
So
the-
Dennis,
Great swirly bokeh is
Yeah.
that's
It's pretty neat.
Dennis, I'm
I
looking at
thought
your
the
film
cost
strip.
was modest. I think it was $280. And it's got some aperture stops in it that you can exchange. So I can introduce a little star pattern and a little diamond pattern, none of which I have tried. And maybe the next time we go to Phipps, I'll take it along. You have to sort of.
They're color print or color photos, Dennis.
What's that?
I'm shocked they're color.
Well, you can make them black and white.
Yeah.
It defeats the purpose.
Did you take any other shots with it other than that one of your grandson?
No, I took 177. And it clearly is a lens you have to know how to use it, because if you don't use it the way you expect, that looks like a normal 80 millimeter lens.
Oh, okay.
And there's one, but there's no particular subject in that, which is not surprising. Half the fun is trying to figure out what it's going to do and how to use it. So that was one. There's another one. That's focus is a little soft. That's Grandpa there. It's focusing the lens.
Yeah.
The digital cameras are not designed to be manually focused. There's no split screen, at least mine. Mine's a Canon. There's no split screen. There's no whatever that pattern is they put in the lenses.
Oh, in the center for focus.
You're trying to find a straight line in the area you want the lens to focus on to adjust to. So sort of like a split screen, but you're rocking the focus, trying to get it right.
Oh.
and the viewfinders on digital cameras are not designed to focus through them. They're designed more for composition.
Yeah.
Because I've stuck my lens babies on an old 35 millimeter, and it's easy to use on that.
Yeah.
But on the digital, it's doable. It's not as easy.
Yeah.
You need something.
And the other downside, both is, for me as a digital photographer, is I take no notes. Where a film guy would take notes.
No, I don't.
Well, you used to. where
I suck at
the aperture was. And I'm sort of the conclusion that you don't want to be on top. You don't want to be on top of the subject. You want the subject to be a little bit distant, so you can let the lens do what it wants to do on the background.
Okay.
But I was actually surprised at how many I got that are reasonably focused.
What's the f stop on that?
As much as 1.9. 1.9 to 22 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And I don't have a good feeling for where you want that to be to get the optimum blurring effect.
Hmm.
And some of these are pure experimentation. And this certainly was, put that flower in the foreground and let's see what happens on the background.
The butterflies like that. It's an annual up here, but they really like it.
Yeah. There, we're gonna have a black and white.
That's nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Hmm.
Anybody listen to Cole Thompson today, yesterday on the Maryland photographic? Were you there, Beth?
I wasn't. Oh, hold on, I'll be back. Hello.
I think that's sort of it. There were a few black and whites.
That's nice.
That come out nice and sharp.
Well, yeah, it was. Right now. That one? Yeah. Oh, then we went to the Heinz Museum. So you recognize those.
Mm-hmm.
And another one that I actually was quite pleased with. They have this little exhibit in the Heinz Museum that are the work of various artists. And this is one, they're rotated. It's supposed to be like that. And I took and made an interpretation of what it looked like to me.
Hey.
Yeah. That's it.
Pretty nice.
Thanks, Dennis. That was nice.
Nice.
Thank you.
Anybody else got anything going on?
I do not, other than driving to Cranberry every day this week.
I finally used the darkroom last week.
Cool.
Printed a whole bunch of Lem's Baby stuff. Well, and medium format stuff.
So you weren't using the special mask outdoors for a minimum amount of time?
No, I haven't gotten that far yet.
Mm.
I do want to do some more Mordensage, but I have to have some prints ready ahead of time and be able to do a bunch. Otherwise, it's not worth mixing all the chemistry up.
Do you use a stabilization processor, or do you use a 3-tray 76 or whatever?
Or just for black and white, it's
stabilizer.
just trays and the usual develop, stop, fix, and wash forever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Another thing that we had in options back in the days when I was doing it was multi-contrast paper, where you could use a set of filters. I had a color enlarger, I think it was a Bessler, with rollers. It had the rollers on the top to roll the color filters, and you could set it so that you could put your multi-contrast papers. You could change the contrast of the paper with a filter.
Yeah. Well, I have under the, well, either over the negative or under the lens filters to change the contrast, because I only use multi-contrast paper. But they're gradations of like a pinkish to an orangey. And because the emulsion that's on the paper is actually two different emulsions mixed together. So
Yeah.
some
Laminate.
react more with blue and some more with green. So with the filters, that gives you the more control over how quickly the blacks turn into shadows, or how much detail you get in the highlights.
Wow, that makes it fun when you're burning in. You just
Well, if you can burn in with a different filter, so you
dodge.
get lots of detail, and you get a lot more control, basically.
What print size do you like to work in? 5/7, 8x10 prints, or
Usually 8x10,
4x5?
at least to start with, and then if it's a good print, I'll make an 11x14.
Mhm.
I've done a few 16x20s, but my sink isn't really big enough. And then the paper is like huge to try to get into the chemicals all at the same time and
Oh yeah.
move it along. So
I remember those days.
that's fun.
I don't.
I get to crank the music.
Mm. Mm-hmm. You ever have Nate open the door right when you were pulling paper
Nope.
out, or your husband? Hey, honey, I want to talk to you about something here. Oops, there goes an 11x14.
Nope, not yet. Usually though, the phone will ring just as I put something into the developer.
There goes the count.
Yeah.
I think all of us at one time had these this big old, about 10-inch by 10-inch clock timer that
Yep.
we used to keep time.
I have a couple, but I actually use an LCD kitchen timer.
Yeah,
Because I just hit the
nowadays.
button when I dump it in and keep an eye on it.
So your dark room's gone hybrid. Got it. Digital.
Yeah.
I keep getting that my internet connection is unstable. What does that mean?
It means that your internet connection isn't fast enough for the video and audio at the same time.
Right.
Margie, I got your email today about the videos. We'll look at those for the actual Photoshop night meeting.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to show them to you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Do you guys know about a Southwestern Pennsylvania Council for the Arts call for entries?
No.
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 I never heard of it either, but I'll show you. You see that? You see that?
Oh.
In the lower third of the display. That's on the Greensburg Arts Center newsletter.
Well, if you could forward that over to Marty, we'll get that up in our newsletter. When is the November 13th is the date?
That's the exhibition date. The deadline's September 1st.
Oh, September 1st. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, Dennis, I'm sorry, would you put that back up again, please?
Sure. 1 second.
The one above it, the Westmoreland Museum of American Art, I just wanted to read what that one was.
Yeah, sure.
So, could this be something that the club could submit an application for?
Typically, that those pop-up artists is for a single artist. We can inquire, but usually those pop-up exhibitions like that is for just a person that wants to do an exhibition of X amount of
Yeah.
art.
Okay. Well, since I'm gonna have to talk to Ann anyway, I'm gonna ask her
Yeah.
about that one.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Typically, had some. I still find that exhibition that club did at the Hannistown was outstanding, and I think something like that at the art museum would be equally outstanding.
It would.
I agree.
Is there any way we can get this sent to us? Because some of these are just around the corner.
And we kind of have an in on getting mats and stuff done now.
You think?
Yeah, really.
I wouldn't know what you're talking about.
Does your employee discount extend to 45 mats at the same time?
It extends to anything that I buy, which is 30%.
Nice.
Wow.
Hell, can I get a job there?
I don't know. My experience at
Sure, we need another framer.
Annie's frame shop, the places were outstanding high.
Well, it just depends on what you're getting.
Yeah, I know. That's what the lady said.
So, and if you wait, and if you start doing some framing, get one of the coupons for 70% off,
Yeah.
then the prices aren't as high.
I sent you the copy of this page, right?
Okay.
I tried anyway.
All right. Thanks, Dennis. I got it. I'll get the correct information out to the people that need it, to everyone.
Okay.
I'll pull out of that what we need to look at. So anybody, I know Alan's been out taking pictures because I see his post all the time. Anyone else been out doing any photography?
I've done a little bit. I just haven't posted it yet.
We were up in the background I have is the Connemara Dam Lake up on West Bend Trail, which almost has no water in it.
Wow.
So if you want to go see the old railroad structures, now's the time.
Oh, the ones that were underwater.
Yeah.
I was up past the Yacht Lake a Saturday ago, I think it was, and I was really surprised at the amount of water that was in the Yacht Lake, because I figured the bridge would be visible by now.
Yeah.
Not. There's quite a bit of water in the lake. I was very surprised by that.
Well, Nate and I went down the bike path from Ohio Pile this week just to go up, actually upstream, because you said that there were waterfalls that way, and there's water trickles.
It was them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
The Butler County's must have had a very dry season, because everything is brown up there.
The
But
day that I've been,
sorry.
Go ahead, Carolyn, finish.
I was gonna say, I spent the morning photographing every nook and cranny of the house that we have up there. So,
I was just gonna say, the day that I went to Twin Lakes for the scavenger hunt, my intention was to get the little water overflow coming down from the upper lake to the lower lake, and there was not a drop that day.
Yeah, things are definitely dry, but at the same time, some of the streams that I was by up in the mountains the other day, when I went up to do the Wharton Furnace and just take a drive through the mountains, I was impressed that there was water in those streams. I didn't think there'd be any, and they weren't bad. They weren't as high as usual, but they weren't bad. So I was impressed with that.
I don't know how deep the Conemaugh Dam is in the main channel, but we walked down from the Livermore access point to
Yeah.
the train tunnel. What you normally expect to see is, some amount of water over the plains, and there was none. There was still water in the channel, but I don't know how deep that is.
Yeah, it's definitely been a dry summer.
Yeah.
Around here, there aren't any places, any towns that they flooded to make reservoirs or anything, are there? Because this kind of summer would usually bring like weird ghosty looking building tops above water and stuff like that.
I don't think so.
Well, that was the Yacht has
Yeah.
where the bridge is. That was summer filled.
Yes. Okay.
When it's visible, all you see is remnants of the foundations.
Yeah.
But like I said, it wasn't visible when I was up there a couple weeks ago.
Wonder if it's visible now.
I don't know. I have to see. I might be going that way Saturday night. I have to look and see if that's where they're racing at Saturday or not.
Are they running at Jennerstown?
Yes. This Saturday they have a special race. The big block modifieds are coming in from up in the east, the northeast. And late model. They're only racing 2 classes Saturday, but it's a big race. And even NASCAR sending one of their track drying trucks in case they get a little moisture, they can dry the track quickly.
Yeah. Anybody go to the drag strip in New Alexandria?
I haven't been out there in a long time.
No, I haven't been down there. I know they're racing, but I haven't been down there.
Yeah. I don't suppose that's a masked place.
In my experience with the racetracks that I've been going to recently, there's no mask anywhere. The oddity is finding someone with a mask on racetracks. But for the most part, I mean, the tracks that I've been to, I don't know that the mask is even necessary because everyone stays far enough away from each other to where you're not congregating in big areas close to each other. And when you get in line at a concession stand, everyone's got their 6 feet away and you're looking at the back of their head, not their face, that kind of stuff.
There's no beer tent?
What's that?
There's no beer tent?
Well, not the tracks that I've been to. I've been going to go-kart racetracks and stuff like that. So it's kind of a little bit more of a family event. But like I said, I mean, I have different views on that, but I've noticed that the majority of the people they're behaving themselves, but they're not wearing masks. I'll put it that way. I went to an indoor race up in Irwin up there. No one wore a mask there. That was a little bit close group of people. You're close together in that place. Another indoor race that I race in Uniontown, and you can't go in the building without a mask on. So, you know, that stuff's kind of up to the owners. But the majority of the racers that I've been around are pretty much like, we're not wearing them.
I noticed when we were up north at that toy store on Route 8 North in Butler County.
Yeah.
They must have a huge dirt bike track, and they had some dirt bike activity going on. I wish we could have stopped.
It's a great toy store.
Yeah, the owner lives on what was our property before.
I seen Saturday or Sunday, they must have raced somewhere up this way, because I seen a lot of dirt bikes in the back of pickup trucks in the evening. Must have been Sunday evening, coming back from wherever they were racing at. So, and there's a lot of racing going on right now. I mean, that's a good opportunity to go take pictures. And we said the majority of the racetracks I've been to, you can stay away from people and just have your fun and leave when you feel like it. So.
Lernerville advertised the race. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, Lernerville's racing.
Yeah.
I think Latrobe is, because I hear them.
Yep, Latrobe is definitely racing. They've been racing pretty much all summer.
Yes.
Latrobe, yeah. And again, Latrobe would be a place that you could go. It's big enough to where you could go there and feel comfortable, even if the people weren't wearing masks. You won't be near any of them. You can get away from everybody.
Do you have access?
No, not anymore. I don't know any of the owners or anything like that anymore for better access. But I mean, you can buy a pit pass and walk through the pits, or you can just do a regular stand pass. Their stands you can get up high enough to where you can photograph the cars on the track without too much fence in the way, probably. But no, I don't have any good access anymore. The previous owner that I knew has passed away, and I don't know these new people.
I have a racetrack right next door to me. The kids are racing their dirt bikes through the yard every day. They even dump excuse me, they dump dirt in their yard now to make jumps.
Oh,
Yeah.
I said the one go-kart track that I go to is in these people's yard. They took the yard and the woods in the back and cleaned it out and made a big go-kart track for racing. Say Sunday we'll be drag racing RC cars. If anybody wants to come out, I can tell you where to go.
Not sure if I'm working yet.
It would be a neat opportunity to photograph cars that a lot of them will look like muscle cars from the 70s and that kind of stuff, but they're 1/10 scale and they're small and they're, you can get some cool shots. Almost every one of them will pull the front wheels off the ground, off the starting line and all that kind of stuff. And they do burnouts and you'll see smoke flying and everything.
Cool.
Annie, did I hear you had a new job? I'm sorry I'm late, but
Yes, I do.
what are you doing now?
I am now the custom framing manager for Michael's in Greensburg.
Oh, okay.
So I'm been going to Cranberry this week for training. So a lot to learn.
You'll do good.
Thank you. It's the paperwork that I'm not thrilled about.
Is it better than the hot stove? Or hot
This is true. This is true.
Paperwork are the joys of being in charge.
Yes, yes, I know.
I don't miss that part.
Yeah.
Is it full time?
Yes.
Oh, very good.
You want to say hi? Oh, come on.
Oh, this will be a puppy.
Puppy
He has
dog.
to say hi. Oh. Yes, I know. Yes, you're a pretty girl.
She says, Mom, it's time for you to pay attention to me.
Yeah, she says that all day long.
Mm-hmm.
She has a pretty good life.
Yeah, they usually do.
Oh, I know.
My cat's mad at me because we left her for a day or two.
Okay.
So anybody working, still working on the scavenger hunt?
Yeah, I'm planning on it. I'm gonna take my camera to work on Friday and see what I can find up in Cranberry, up around Cranberry.
Well, I don't know, Brian, if you saw my post, but I did all 50 photos in one day.
I did.
I saw those.
I did. We'll take a look at some more of them at our next get together. Whatever it is at next Wednesday, I believe.
It was a long day.
How much of it did you plot out ahead of time?
Almost all of it. The one exception was, and at one point I almost gave up, was the public payphone.
No.
And I literally was just driving through Greensburg and just spotted it on the side of the road.
That was the first one that I got. I think I got 4 or 5 of those. And I thought that would be the hardest.
Yeah, but I pretty much had a script. I knew where I was going to go and times and whatnot. So it worked out really well.
Yeah, I have a couple more pictures I want to take.
I might do a few more on film just to round it out, because that's about the only thing I didn't use.
See, I've got a few done. I did a few with the drone and some with the camera, some with an iPhone. So I'm working my way around.
Well, oh, by the way, the other one I think I put a note on the Reddit post is I did fake the tennis shoes over the power line. That was the one I knew I would not get locally. So it also, Beth, was planned to fake it.
When I saw the shoes, I said, you know, those look like Jim's shoes.
Well, actually, they were Pat's shoes.
Okay.
I was going to do the shoes that Beth did up here at the Uniontown Post Office that I told you about. I was thinking of doing them only from level with them with the drone, but then I got to thinking that's a federal property and you're not allowed to fly a drone on federal property. So
Do it on Sunday.
I decided that probably wasn't worth getting arrested for.
Somebody might visit you in jail.
Well, I was off on Sunday, so you would have been okay. Okay.
I was away for a few minutes, folks. I had a piece of equipment that was producing a beep beep every few seconds. If you were wondering where it was coming from, it was coming from these things right here. This is a Radio Shack headset. Brian, you probably remember the story behind this.
Oh yeah, those are those the flip ones, the ones that you can flip out to turn into speakers?
Yeah, that's what it was. I had them flipped outward, and I think the battery was starting to die on it, and it was giving the warning. And I kept looking all over. I've got all these plugs pulled over here. I got a couple of pianos, and all the plugs are pulled on them. And then I realized it was this headset, and the batteries probably are down below a certain point, and it started a warning. So now I got a bunch of stuff to plug back in. The fun we have. I like them. You can you can use them as Bluetooth. You can hardwire them, and you can run them into an iPod, hardwired. They're nice. I still like them. There's still a nice sound coming out of them.
Yep. Yeah, those were good headphones. I have a set of them here.
I like them.
When I said flip, for those of you that were wondering, you can actually take the headphones and flip them backwards, and it allows they turns them into speakers so that they're louder that way.
I'll show you. Just turn it this way, like this.
Yep.
And it'll start going boop, boop.
Yep, we sold them at Radio Shack.
They're good quality too. They've withstood all I've been doing with them.
You know, one of the other things that we need to start thinking about and planning for, because I'm not canceling it, is going to be the Fright Night photography thing that we were going to do. So we got to kind of consider or start thinking about how we want to do that. As far as getting people at some point somehow together to do those pictures and do a Fright Night. So if you have ideas, feel free to forward them along.
Like a haunted house or
Well,
or just makeup?
I was more along the lines of us making our own stuff, just because, I mean, I don't think that we want to go to a haunted house. We can't get together as 15 people in a group, let alone 10,000 people at a haunted house. So, but something that we, things that we could go do, or something that anybody has an idea towards that, like I said, just kind of forward that along, and we'll start making some plans for that one. I think that's going to be fun.
And I'm sorry, can you go back and make a short thing of what you're saying? I had to leave the meeting for a second.
Okay. We have a Fright Night photography walk scheduled, and I was looking for ideas of how you want to do that.
Okay.
Location wise, has that been specified?
Nope, not at all. It's a totally in the planning kind of thing.
Okay.
When we planned that, coronavirus didn't exist.
Yeah.
So we had other thoughts and ideas of how to do that, but now a lot of that has changed, of course. So we need to rethink how we want to do that.
Well, Brian, I don't know if the county would find it acceptable or not, but each year they alternate between Twin Lakes and Mammoth for a Fright Night for the kids. Of course, that's outdoors at those locations. But again, from a photography standpoint, I'm not quite sure they would be interested in having us setting up and
taking pictures of kids.
Yeah.
Well, that was my concern right there, was you said it's for the kids.
Yeah.
Well, Scottsdale's already canceled trick or treating.
Yeah, I expected that to be coming.
So I think a couple of groups are getting together and doing their own version. So
Yeah.
It's like adapt and modify, but there's no official groups doing official things. Because then official people can get in trouble if something happens,
Right.
basically.
Actually, speaking of that, like our lodge now is open, and we've decided to start having our lodge meetings again. But anyone that comes to a meeting has to sign a waiver saying that they won't sue the lodge or the Pennsylvania Grand Lodge if they get sick and die.
Yeah.
So
So just don't do it, Brian.
don't do what?
Get sick and die.
Well, I'm not planning on it.
Yeah, they have to get that signature before they die.
Yeah, we have to get that signature before they enter the lodge room.
And I think I saw in the news recently that Kennywood was canceling their, whatever they call their fright nights.
Oh, are they?
I thought I saw that.
I think I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, well, I think I saw it on TV. PTL, I think it was.
Kennywood and Idlewater down to three days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to see
Pussy
some
Run have some kind of thing like that?
What you got, Dennis?
If somebody else was speaking,
I'm not aware, Alan.
do you want to see some of my hummingbird chicks?
Sure.
I posted one in Reddit, but I think it got lost amongst the scavenger hunt. Right outside of our little patio, we had a hummingbird nest. In the center of this photo, you can see the nest and one of two chicks. And I took this because I had no perspective that showed the scale of the nest. So this is after one chick has flown off. And I can make it larger so you can see it. But it's not 20 feet from the back of our little patio. And let me get them.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah. It's amazing how small those nests are. Even
Yeah.
more amazing that you were able to find that nest or spot it.
Yeah.
We don't want all those. So I took this with a 100 to 400 at 400, probably 4 feet away. And this is a little bit early, and I just can't get over how small this nest is. And we would see the mother when she was sitting on the eggs. But once the two chicks hatched, there was no room for her on the nest. And these are really, trying to get the thing in focus, trying to get a decent perspective.
That's what I call downsizing.
Yeah, yeah, but the nest is still there. And I was impressed how comfortable, or either comfortable or tolerant of me the chicks were. They did not seem to be nervous, and they didn't seem agitated. And maybe it's because they didn't know how to fly, so their choices were limited. And I thought maybe we would get attacked by one of the parents, and we never did.
Oh, you had, I had seen these before, but I didn't see all these other angles that you had of them.
Yeah,
They're really nice.
I think that's it. So I just thought maybe you'd like to see them.
Mhm.
And you can see grandma and grandson if you'd like. But that's not a.
He looks like he's ready to go over the side there.
He's 8 years old and his attention span is no more than 1 minute. But for $10 an hour, it's not a bad diversion. So,
But your wife is doing all the pedaling and the grandson's just sitting there.
yeah, that's the way it was. Yeah. He claimed his legs were too short.
No, stop it.
Talking to me?
Wasn't doing anything. By the way, Jim, your wife did come up and say hi to me.
She told me
work.
that, yeah.
Yep.
She didn't buy anything from you though, did she?
No, she didn't. She didn't bring anything for me to do.
What was in her basket?
She didn't have anything in her hand. She just came up and said hi.
The friend that she was with is a real artsy type person. She was probably there gathering crafts for who knows what.
Well, we're sure quiet for a lot of people on Zoom.
Yeah.
And I'm going to beat Margie to saying it, but don't forget August Photographer's Choice too.
Oh, thank you.
As of right now, there are only 2 entries.
Oh, okay.
Well, my calendar says the 19th, so.
I know, you still have time.
How many did we have last month? Do you remember? Or?
Let's see, July, because I'm on the site right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 last month.
Well, I'll be entering this month. Last month I couldn't enter anything, but this month I definitely will be. I'm back up and going.
Good. I think Jim's Foggy Morning got the most votes.
Yeah.
It did, yeah. Thanks for the votes, those who did.
Yep. We're all too quiet. It's the middle of the week. It's hump day.
What?
It's hump day.
What's that? Oh, okay. Yes, second.
Yep. Where's our camel?
We finally got some decent corn in the cob from Palmer's Farm.
Yeah, they raised the price to like $9 a bag.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
But I tell you, some of the stuff you see like at out in 66 is miserable.
Carol bought 3 ears day before yesterday at Walmart. And they were large, but I was so used to the Palmers that when I tasted it, it was very definitely different. It definitely was different. If you had never had any of the Palmers or some of the other couple places that really have nice corn, good corn, if you've never had that, you wouldn't know. But this was not very good. It was big. Well, I'm sorry, Annie, what?
There's a farm down the road from me that Logan's Farm, I usually get corn from. They have really good corn.
Well, because of the weather, everybody's been down on product.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to stop yesterday when I went down to the pie shop. And
What?
I woke him up.
What shop?
Brian woke up. Pie shop.
Yeah. They had a place next to it that had corn, and it said the extra, extra sweet corn. And then they had some tomatoes and, cucumbers, and it was set out like an individual does alongside the road. I plan on going back there tomorrow, the next day, and checking out some of their corn and vegetables that they have.
Yeah.
Had you tested out the corn? Was the corn actually as good as they said?
I didn't make it. I had to pick up a birthday cake for Connor, my G kid. It was his birthday. So I went there for that. I thought of Brian when I went in there.
I haven't been able to get any corn. They're sold out by the time I get home.
Yeah, you gotta get that right.
So.
You want corn?
What's that?
I said, if you want corn, I can get you corn.
Oh, I can probably get it. There's best. Well,
there's a stand in front of my mom's house every day. They've been letting some people we know sell their corn there, so
yeah,
not be a problem. I can get it. They
sold
the other day. They sold 95 dozen of corn.
Wow!
In one day.
Well, people are out there looking for the good corn because there's not enough of it. There's not a lot of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know where there is a field of corn.
You can get
Yeah,
it, the Lalo stands it for like 15 years for like $8. But the ears diameter are like 1.5 inches. Like a billy club.
It's not enough corn.
It's Denny's corn.
Yeah, I haven't gone
Across
to.
the street has a field full of corn, but I don't know if it's eating corn or cow corn.
Yeah.
Hey Beth, have you gone to Windy Heights to get any corn?
No, I haven't been going up that direction, and I should, because they've got a whole bunch of sunflowers out back too, which I only saw yesterday, and I didn't have a camera with me.
Yeah, Greg won't care if you take pictures.
Here's a totally different approach here. Speaking of sunflowers, speaking of artwork, we used to have an aquarium in our bedroom, and we had tried to, we kept thinking of getting rid of the fish, and we never did for the longest time. So finally got rid of it, and the empty spot in the furniture was once again empty. And Carol took one of our vases and she put it in there, and she found some flowers online. She put 3 big sunflowers in it, and she finished the
Not 9, yeah.
what? Oh,
Sorry.
she anyway. No, okay. And she finished the project today, and she put it on Facebook. So it's a long way around. I was going to say, if anybody's been looking at Carol's Facebook page today, she took a shot of her artwork. You did see it?
I did.
Yeah.
I saw it too.
And I looked at it. It was well done. She did a very good job. I mean, everything is trim and smooth to the edges, and good work. She did a really nice artwork.
You taught her well.
Did you tell her?
No. She did this totally on her own. No, you should see some of her knitting. Just amazing. Amazing. She does.
Did you tell her how well she did?
Oh, you bet. You bet. Yeah, no, I still like my dinner. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
What to do with the TV hole in an old entertainment center?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Well, the sunflowers themselves are a little bit wanting, but I think that in time we'll find some newer ones. Maybe we'll I kept saying, go to Michael's. I think they probably have them there, don't they?
Yeah.
Sure. Probably have some really good ones in there. We'll get our, well, sooner or later we'll go in
We got a lot of sunflowers right now.
When do you start your position in store?
Oh, I've been in the store for 2 weeks. I'm just, right now I've been, I'm going up to Cranberry, Monday through Friday this week, for training on a lot more things, on how to put a lot more things together, how to do, and, you know, getting some basics on the paperwork that I have to fill out and, you know, the things that I have to do. So, but I've already been in the store for the last 2 weeks, and I've been doing production on a lot of the pieces that have been coming in. But I'm learning a lot of things, like the register and all kinds of things. We get a lot of orders that have to be put together and picked, you know, for curbside pickup. I've been learning that. I've been just everything. So one day a week I'll be closing the whole store. So there's a lot more than just learning the framing department. So it's just going to be overall management duties throughout the whole store. So, yep, I have been there. For
So
2
right now
weeks.
Annie, right now you're in Cranberry. When will you be in the regular store?
Next week I'll be back.
Okay.
Well, we should have a meeting.
The meeting room there is off limits. It's being used for other stuff right now. Yeah, they're not doing any classes up there at all right now.
This is a little off topic. But I wanted to share, I have a brand new great nephew. He was born on Friday, but he was born at 32 weeks. This is a picture of him. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh.
Hold it closer to your face.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
He only weighs 4 pounds, and he's at McGee, but he's in an incubator. So if you could kind of keep him in your thoughts and prayers, that would be greatly appreciated. Today they did take him off his breathing machine, and he doesn't have any IVs right now. So he's holding his own right now.
Oh, great.
Cool.
He's a fighter.
And who is this child?
It's my great nephew.
Yeah, okay.
Good for you. Congratulations.
His name's Tanner. So that's kind of cool. So just wanted to share.
Thank you for sharing.
Good.
He weighs 6 ounces more than Daniel did when Daniel was born.
Oh my
And he was
goodness.
born
Thank you.
a week earlier than Daniel. So speaking of, he's in there making himself laugh. I don't know what he's doing.
Rex, I can't hear you.
I said Daniel is in there laughing. If you hear him laughing, he's just making himself laugh.
Rex is talking and he's not transmitting.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's not muted according to Zoom.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Rick, we're not getting your sound through.
It's a sign language. Is it muted on the computer, Rex?
You must have turned your mic off somehow.
Nope, we still can't hear you.
Maybe
Anybody
Carol-
read lips?
Not that well.
I read
He
that.
said goodbye.
Yeah.
He's gonna fly away.
We'll see you later, Rex.
See you, Rex.
Bye.
We're
Yeah,
about ready to close up anyhow. It's just about 9 o'clock.
9:00.
All right. Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
See you next week.
Night all.
night,
I
everyone.
posted a thing
Good night,
about the car
everyone.
show. I looked up what time it is, so.
Oh, speaking of car shows, just real quick,
Yeah.
I just read a thing where the big car show out in Carlisle
Yeah.
received a special hidden secret okay to have their car show from Dr. Rachel Levine, saying that it's okay as long as they only have 20,000 people a day. It was a hidden and secret, and no one knew about it until they just found out about it. But she agreed to it in writing, a agreement to allow them to have their car show out there.
Yeah.
Brian, just to elaborate on that, one of the local Pittsburgh TV stations received a copy of it. It was a confidential contractual agreement. But
Yeah, that's where
they
I'm reading
had
it
a
at. It's
copy
on
of it.
Channel 11.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
is that for all of their shows this summer or?
it doesn't specify which show. It just says Carlisle, which Carlisle has shows almost every weekend for
Yeah.
during the summer period.
Yeah.
And I would guess that it was probably a blanket agreement for all of the weekends.
Yeah,
But
because Ken still went to the Mopar one.
I know they've been having them, and other places have been having them, and local car shows have been going on too around here. So, but I just thought it was funny that there was a secret agreement that was allowing them to have their car show, which would be going against the rules of what you're allowed to have as far as outdoor events. So,
Well, the other part of that story was that I'm not sure who from Butler County, but I'm going to say the Butler County Fair was filing a lawsuit against the state and kind of using that as a reference of how inconsistent the state is in implementing their rules.
right. Yeah, that was in here also, that there was Lawrence County Fair.
Well, because Carlisle had
of it.
filed to sue the state too, I think,
Yeah.
even before
The rule is
Mopar
you're not allowed
show.
to have more than 250 people at an outdoor event, but they're allowed to have 20,000.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I thought that was funny.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see about how Sturgis turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a active case in the midst of the, what's the name of that bar they have? Crap. I won't remember now.
I don't remember which
We'll
one.
see how that turns out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I seen how it turned out for some of the Antifa people that showed up there and thought they were going to have a something to say about Sturgis.
I didn't see that.
It did not turn out good for them. Let's put it that way.
Did they really go to Sturgis?
Yes, they did.
Oh my God.
You got to be pretty stupid to decide to go to Sturgis, where every motorcycle gang in the country is visiting.
That'd be a photo-rich environment.
Yeah. Yes, it would be.
Were they long lens?
Yeah.
Very long lens.
No, they love you to take their picture.
Yeah. You
You
just
go
have to,
there, you get pictures that you can't get anywhere else in the country.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But no, they very much would like you to be there and take their picture. They like that. No. Anyhow, all right, guys, I'm going to say good night then.
All right. Good night.
Good
Good night,
night.
everybody.
Night.
Good night.
everybody.
So,